Watch. I'm going to give you a real live 1996.
But can I address this example?
1996 example.
Okay. He's going to give you
the president of Mexico, Carlos Salinas. Last day of office, wire transferred literally over $30 million to New York from the Pemex, the petroleum.
From the
bank. It was like
the Bank of Mexico. Stole millions of dollars from the Mexican people on his final day.
And the months before that, they called it the Black Monday. The Mexico Stock Exchange, it collapsed. They were going through some interest rates. That's where the peso really lost its value. Yeah. And it's never recovered since. And after that, once his term was over, he transferred millions of dollars to New York.
Last day. And guess what? He didn't go to prison.
He's not allowed to go back to Mexico. He lives in Paris or he lives in New York. I don't know where he lives.
New York.
So he's a criminal. So I'm going to say...
No, he's not a criminal.
He's not a criminal.
There's no regulation
that said
that he couldn't do it.
And by the way, he was not the only modern day president in Mexico to have done that. The one before that did that too. There's not enough.
All right, so I can safely say that you're against net neutrality.
Yeah,
right?
He's against big government.
But for the
he's
point,
against big government.
I'm waiting for someone to make the case for it that makes sense to me, or if someone can walk me through it. Because my understanding is the government, out of all the institutions in society, is the only one that's legally that we all recognize they can use force. So they're the most dangerous power center of all because they can steal, they can take your life, they can take your liberty, and they can take your property. That's ungodly amounts of power in society. Nobody else can. Sprint can't do any of that.
Let's scale that back.
Sprint can't, and I agree.
Let's go back.
Yeah, they're too powerful. With that kind of power, you have to
Let me tell you something real quick on the net neutrality. I'm a consumer. I love saving money, but I also love buying things that are going to be helpful to my life. Okay. I don't have a problem with paying $50 a month for my cell phone service.
Well, you're going to do whatever you think is best with your money. The best value you get. Yeah, sometimes it's not doing anything.
But if that's the case. Okay. You know, if that's how I feel, then I also expect that these corporations govern themselves. They comply with whatever.
That's not gonna happen.
That's not gonna happen. Exactly.
No, it will though.
Hold on, time out. It's not. That's why I expect government to be there to make sure that it protects the consumer, me.
No, but see, you should protect yourself.
I'll pay whatever money I have to pay to that company, so long as I'm getting what I know I'm going to get.
No, but look, in a free society, which is that basis of this whole country, you should be... The only times the government should be involved is if someone is attacking your life, your liberty, or your property. That's really all they're supposed to do as this country was conceived. So let me finish.
Well, my money's my life. Right.
So. Okay, no, but your money's your property. So that's whatever. But unless Verizon is coming into your house and stealing your money, how are they getting your money? Are they stealing? Do they break into your house, or so you give it to them?
I give it to
them.
So
you willingly be like, okay, you're offering me this. Here's my money.
I'll be paying later.
So they're putting a gun to your head.
Okay. So let's say they.
Okay, then how? All
right. Okay.
I want to clear this up. So it's willing or it's not willing.
Okay.
Automatic
payment. All right. So let's create this
That's
scenario.
You signed up for, right?
If you want to go extreme, let's go extreme.
Okay.
They end net neutrality, which they did.
Okay.
Let's say
it's in a gray area.
Let's say hold on. Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on.
All right.
Now let's say no company is offering me what I want. They all go fucking start individual. They all start fucking cutting everything into pieces and everything. Now I don't have anything. Then what?
Well, first of all, did you build Netflix?
No. I didn't.
Okay. Did you build the internet pipes that go to your house?
No.
Did you build any of the infrastructure?
No.
So what demands do you have?
Well, no. Actually, can I argue on that one? Okay. I kind of did because my taxes pays the government.
And remember what I'm saying. I don't want those subsidies
because I don't matter. No, I paid for that shit.
Yeah, and they shouldn't have done that.
So guess what?
But see, that's the argument.
I'm grandfathered in, motherfucker.
No, okay.
Everybody that didn't pay for that, then they got to pay for that shit.
If we can find some way to do that, we can find some way to do that. If you feel like
do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying.
I paid for that shit.
I understand what you're saying, but the problem in this situation is you have to decide if you want your son to have a better quality of life, or if you just want to really make sure you get your $50 they took out in taxes.
If my grown ass adult child, I don't give a fuck what.
Or your grandchildren or whatever. But
here's how to take care of me.
Okay, here, I'll say it like this. The British citizens, when we were all, this colony was British citizens, right? They could have chose, well, we've already paid all these taxes. The British military is already there. If we break off from Britain, we're just going to lose all of it. So why did they choose to actively screw themselves over? Because there was something.
They didn't screw themselves over.
They did. They had paid all these taxes. The whole British army was paid for from their taxes, as well as other British citizens. So much British infrastructure. Not because of opportunity. They paid the taxes for this stuff, but they chose anyways. You know what? We already paid all these taxes. But yeah, freedom is more important than this money that I'm going to lose this whole life up until now that I paid to the British government. So I would say for you, you can be like that. But I would say if you wanted to live in a freer world, a more fair world, a less corrupt world, a world where you couldn't be arbitrarily pulled over.
Sorry.
You're promoting more corruption, honestly.
No,
you're almost promoting anarchy.
No.
And he says that it's okay to do that because after a while, the ones that don't survive.
It's not social
Darwinism.
It's not social Darwinism. What I'm saying. No, because let me explain. When America was founded, how come we didn't all just kill each other? Because that wasn't anarchy, right?
Actually,
original America.
To be honest with you, when did we say that we were independent? When did we proclaimed our independence?
76.
76. So when we were proclaimed it. When the fuck did we fucking actually
like
1790?
97? After the articles of the...
Wait, what was the question? What was the question again? I'm sorry.
It was 20 years later.
Oh, 20 years. Oh, I thought you said 1990.
I did, but I said 1790
1787 was the Constitution, I think, was ratified.
So the actual ratification of the Constitution?
Yeah, because I think the Articles of Confederation was
okay.
It was like in 96. Yeah. What I'm trying to prove here is that 20-year period was very painful for a lot of people.
Okay, so what you're saying, they shouldn't have rebelled against the English and they should have stayed.
So
what you're saying is sometimes you can go through pain.
There's different ways of going about it.
No, I understand
Is
that.
what I'm trying to say.
You're actually proving his point.
Yeah,
no, I'm not.
Well,
yeah, because he's saying
a lot of growth requires growing
the
pain.
result is great.
Yes,
we're here.
But you have to suffer through.
But what if that didn't happen? Did you know that was at risk of
yes,
that happening?
but okay, so they shouldn't have done it.
The only reason
why they shouldn't have done
it's an okay thing is because it fucking worked.
Okay, but see, that's how it all works.
No,
life is nothing about risk.
Absolutely not.
I'll say this
because the social Darwinism. Do you know what that is?
Every time
survival of the fittest. There was some dumbass that didn't know how to argue in front of the Senate. I'm talking about the Senate. I'm not him. And he lost.
This is not the View.
I know, right?
Yeah. But look, I'm not arguing. Here, if you can believe me, I'm not arguing for social Darwinism. I'm taking a little while to dismantle it, but that's really what I'm not. So if you can give me that benefit of the doubt. I'm not saying like everyone against everyone, but what I'm saying is like, I'll say like this, for the risk thing, every time I walk across the street, I'm risking my life. I could get hit by a bus. Now, I think the risk, I'm personally, for my life, I think it's worth it to cross the street most of the time. Because sometimes, obviously,
if the government did not subsidize transportation, you wouldn't be hit by a bus.
That's a little. But what the point that I'm making here is that I'm accepting a certain amount of risk because I see the benefit. Yes. It's low risk. Now, sometimes people will take high risk. The breaking away from Britain was a high risk thing, but the reward of freedom, of not being under the boot of King George, of having an the first country in the history of the world to have like absolute freedom, well, as close to absolute freedom as we've managed to come to, that was a big risk, but it was worth it. It's just like, when you join a new company or when you quit a job and you join a new company, that's a huge risk, especially like in your position, you have like family and kids and stuff. But sometimes you have to make that decision. I'm putting myself in a risky situation. But I think this is going to be really good for us. And you don't know, you think. Right. All these situations, government can't really guarantee anything. They can give you the illusion of a guarantee, but they're just offloading the risk somewhere else. And it's just going to get bigger and bigger. Like you have to eat the risk some way. Like the FDIC thing.
The net neutrality. Hold on. Let's go back to net neutrality. One of the issues that I have with it is that, like my brother was saying.
Well, I'll say this. From what I saw of y'all's net neutrality video, you were saying something to the effect like, there's like hundreds of it's land of the free. We have hundreds of millions of consumers. Why are we supporting a few businesses? That was very a utilitarian argument. You're favoring 10 people over 100 people. So if I can
entities,
okay. But they're made of people.
You see them as individual. You say that they're individual entities.
No, they're not. They're collections of people. Like Verizon is all its shareholders, plus the people that work there, plus
it's a living entity.
The employees. I wouldn't even say one entity, but it's a bunch of people. Everything is people. Government is people. Corporations are people. There's like some weird legal stuff there, but they're just people.
The corporation is made up of people, but the corporation is actually one entity.
You can count it as one entity.
It is one entity,
but it's owned. It's a slave to all its shareholders.
Everybody owns it. Yeah,
all the shareholders own it.
Right.
So the people at the end of the day, it's still people. Right. In any direction you go, it's still
no. Hold on. The United States was based off of life, liberty, pursuit of happiness of the individual, not the corporation.
No, it was based off life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. But even that pursuit of happiness, the only reason why that's there instead of property is because of slavery. Okay? It was supposed to be life, liberty, and property. But the only reason they didn't do it is because they knew they wanted to get rid of slavery one day, and they would reference this and be like, "Oh, the Southerners could be like, this is our property. These black people, you can't take it."
Right. But it is for the individual. But one of the things that I will give is the corruption that comes out of that, the lobbying that goes through these corporations that lobby to get these regulations in their favor. Exactly. Like like net neutrality.
Yes.
The guy who runs it worked for Verizon.
Okay.
Did you know that Ajit
yes.
Pai was a fucking executive of Verizon? You don't think that he's lining his fucking coffers up after he's done with this shit?
I don't think
he's gonna go right back, just like Dick Cheney did.
As far as I know, let me be. I want to make sure I'm clear. Humans don't have telepathy, right?
Everyone
Your brother's
else
not special, right?
FCC.
He doesn't have telepathy. So right now he's just guessing. He can't look into Ajit Pai's mind. Now I'm not gonna
look at Monsanto, man.
No, but
we're going back and forth, and you know it.
No, I'm not.
They go back and forth.
I'm not saying they're not.
Chief executives go back and forth.
Yeah, they do go back.
I'm saying that, and we were having this conversation before.
It's not that he's guessing. It's that we've known the
history. You're making an educated guess.
No,
based
we're
on your
not.
experience.
It's not even educated guess.
Yeah, so so what you're saying is if I work for Verizon, I will never be able to do anything that has to regulate Verizon ever. Like I'll permanently be enslaved.
If you want to be rich, yeah, I guess.
So you're saying that after he's done with this administration, he doesn't have everything lined up for him?
He could. I don't know. He could.
I mean, he literally gave everybody in that fucking industry
the top 6 companies,
I don't care about his motives, to be honest. He could be wanting to do all that, but what is he actually trying to pass is my concern.
You should care about the motives.
Because look, if the government was limited to
motive has a lot to do with it.
Listen to me. If my intent is certain and you know it, and I'm trying to sell you something, but you know my intent, shouldn't that be a part of your
it would only
process?
be part of my calculus if I didn't understand what you were trying to sell me.
No, I don't know what the fuck he's trying to sell me. All I know is
exactly.
they're trying to make money.
And that's the problem. That's part of this culture of corruption that's in the government right now. There's too much money. All the laws are like 1,000 pages, and not even a single senator knows this bill.
You're actually like making a case against yourself.
No, I'm not. Because I want a small.
Yeah, you are.
Because look, this is what I want. I want a smaller government that does 3 basic things. How am I making a case? If it only does policing, judge stuff, and military. Yeah,
what about medical?
I'm being a little quick here, but
you have 3 branches of government.
Yeah,
medical
and Congress stuff.
No, why would they do medical?
So you're okay with people just dying in the streets?
Are you okay with people dying in the streets? Because people are dying in the streets right now.
No. I'm talking about dying in the streets and just staying right there.
No, I'm saying people are dying in the streets right now.
Also, do you see dead people everywhere?
Show me where you see a dead person.
Show me where there's just dead people laying there and rotting. Where
California for sure.
What, really?
Yeah.
Oh, you just everywhere.
They have an epidemic of homeless people on the streets.
Homeless, yes, but not dead homeless people.
So no homeless people die ever?
What I'm saying is, are they going to sit there and rot? Are you saying they're going to sit there and rot?
The bodies, if they're dead, maybe.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
You want to take a break? Oh no. Okay.
Well, what I'm saying is, there are certain services that need to be done.
No,
they have to be.
No. I'll say this.
Medical is one of them.
No, medical can be done by people. People. Okay, how you were saying like it was for individual liberties. I agree, but corporations are still groups of individuals. So there's nothing there that changes. Like I'll say it like this: your utilitarian argument is bad because let's say the president of the United States was dying, right? Let's say, and
why
he's
is
important.
it bad?
Utilitarian argument. I'm about to show you. Let's say the president of the United States. No, let's use an even better example. 100.
Because I don't mind the president dying.
Okay, yeah. Let's say
that was a horrible
100 little Mexican babies in Mexico have some rare disease.
Why gotta be Mexican for?
Because I think you'll be able to more appreciate it. Yeah, I'm trying to make it as 100 little Mexican babies have been born this year with some rare disease that no one's ever heard of, whatever. And then all of a sudden they found out your daughter, she has the exact kidneys they need to develop a super drug. Okay. But let's not even say kidneys. Let's say a lung. Okay. Let's say in your world, utilitarian, the government should be able to forcibly take her lung, regardless of if she wants to give it up or not, because 100 babies will be saved by this, and it's only one her. But we would
encourage her to do that. By the way.
No, but she wouldn't have a choice because the government should be involved in these things. There's some things the government has to do.
The government doesn't do that now.
That's the underlying principle. The underlying principle you're talking about, the government should decide whatever's going to help the most people. They should screw over the small.
Which by the way, there's a recent example last couple of days about this kid, the 2-year-old or 3-year-old in England, I think, or I don't know.
Yeah, but see, in England, they don't have individual liberties like we do. They have a culture that kind of reinforces it, but they don't write down a lot of their stuff. Yeah, because the government decides who lives and who dies.
No, it's because that's what the parents wanted.
No, the parents didn't. They wanted to bring the baby here to America because we don't. Our laws say they can do whatever they want with their child.
The Italians.
The Italians said they want to fly them over to
Rome. Anyways.
Yeah, or wherever. They want to take them anywhere else. But the British government said no because I don't know what their reason was because it was going to cost too much money.
I don't get
which government are you talking about? The U.S. wouldn't make.
There was a case. What I'm talking about, the principle you're using, if you let it flourish and our culture accepts that principle as something the government should do, one day they're gonna come for your daughter and tell her
they don't do that now.
Give me an example when
we've done that.
No, because every time you introduce
give me an example where a modern government has done that.
The UK, like what you're saying, and we are almost always 10 years behind the Europe.
But that wasn't saving hundreds of people.
That was just
that. No,
baby.
I know, but the principle is the same. It's the utilitarian argument. Because in the UK, the British government provides medical services.
By the way, that was a bad example because their government operates way different than ours.
Okay, in the they do what Juan wants. They provide medical services for their people.
But we
pay
do
for
that.
But no, they pay for everything.
But if a person who is dying wants to leave the hospital,
my brother's not like that. My brother does not. He does the socialist about the Democrats and stuff. That's
but he said he's
more in the middle.
I know he says that, but he wants the government to provide medical services. He said that.
Yeah.
See.
But
that's what the UK does.
What I'm trying to say.
Are you saying Republicans don't want medical services?
I'm not talking about Republicans. Republicans are the worst party in the history of the world, right after Democrats. Okay, that's literally like.
Listen, right now we don't live in a society where they're going to come after your lung.
My lungs are
and
but see, here's what
to save 100 babies.
No, but see, the philosophy you're using is utilitarianism. The reason why a long time
you might talk about the philosophy, but I'm talking about modern day times now.
No, but see, the philosophy.
Corporation is an entity.
No, look, the philosophy is what underlies our culture, and the culture is what informs our laws. If you breed into the philosophy, if our culture accepts a philosophy of utilitarianism,
I'm not a Marxist. I'm not a communist.
No,
dude.
but you have.
I'm not saying the government needs to do this.
I'm not saying you are.
We're going to protect the many.
I'm saying a utilitarian.
That's it.
Yeah,
Perfect.
that's a utilitarian
Perfect.
philosophy.
That's it.
That means you should sacrifice individuals for the collective.
No, I said individuals.
No, you said the few for the many.
No, the opposite.
We're for
so you should sacrifice the many for the few.
No. I'm saying I don't want the government protecting these corporations.
I want the government protecting everyone equally. I don't want them to care
just said.
If I have $1 million or $1 billion. I don't want them to care if I'm a CEO or a worker.
That's what I said.
Okay, so then we agree that they should treat
when you were saying that, I was like, what is he talking about? I'm not making an argument. I'm not making an argument of that. I believe the government should protect everybody.
But I believe they should protect everybody equally. That they should make no distinctions between one person and another. Whether you have $1 million
corporation is not a person.
No, they shouldn't make laws for corporations because corporations aren't a real thing. Corporations are groups of people.
It doesn't matter.
I think that's where your fault is at. I love where you're going.
You're not comparing apples to oranges.
I agree with what you're saying, but I think once you have that distinction between a corporation and an individual,
but see,
that's where things are going to be easier for you to explain things.
Yeah. Well, because in my worldview, everything is just people, right? We're just a corporation is a bunch of individuals coming together to work together.
But that's not how. Even back when we established this country, it wasn't even like that.
It was
then.
like that.
No,
the legal personhood came a little bit after America was founded by.
There were corporations back then.
There were corporations, but they were considered
more like
groups
slave
of people.
French,
there were
corporations.
The French, the church. No,
they established a lot of businesses.
Slavers
they
were
did.
Corporations.
But look, this is what I'm saying. Corporations as an entity is a new thing. Corporations, the word has been around for a while, but it just meant a group of people coming together for economic activity. Right. But the key word is people.
But it's important for you to just have a
because I'm talking about individual rights.
When we talk about individual rights,
no, because it's okay. Look, this is what I'm saying.
Inside,
look, individual is specific to the individual. Every person that's related to that company is an individual. So,
Tony,
we're not talking about that.
I think that's where your fault is at. I get what you're saying.
Okay, what makes a corporation a corporation?
Listen to me. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but you're saying you should make a line. I'm asking you what makes a corporation a corporation.
Have arguments about individual corporations.
I don't think that. No, see, that's the opposite of what I think. Because that's when you start having conversations about individual corporations, you're choosing winners and losers. Because when you say we, you mean we through the government, which is government.
As in the people.
You don't even have to choose winners or losers. You know what you have to choose? The consumer. Look, if there's a consumer base, there's going to be corporations out there that are going to make money. And if corporations out there making money, they're going to employ people, which means people are going to have money to buy things. It's a circle. If government ensures that these companies are not they're not stealing or they're not cheating.
Well, no. Government is supposed to make sure no one is stealing.
And that's all I care about.
Okay. So we agree that one of the main one of the main
as far
functions
as subsidies and other things, if our farmers are struggling because the Dust Bowl or
here's
something
the problem.
like that,
if our farmers are struggling,
need to become involved.
If the farmers are struggling and we as Americans feel like we need to help them, then we should help them outside of the government. There's charity. There's donation drives. I'm gonna purposely pay $5 for this American corn versus $2 for this Brazilian corn because I want to support American workers.
Correct.
But if I'm a poor person and I only have $2, I don't think anyone will be mad at me if I get this Brazilian corn.
I would be very mad at you.
Okay, well, then you want me to starve.
Buy American.
Then you want me to starve. So if I can't afford American, I shouldn't be able to get it?
No, but you have to understand this is a capitalist country.
I know, but
if you only have $2 to buy that corn, shame on you. Because guess what? You can work overtime.
This is not a capitalist country.
It is a capitalist country.
It is an individual rights country.
My dad, they were born in Mexico, and when they came to this country,
wait, why did they come to this country?
Listen, hold on, don't change the subject.
No,
here.
I'm not changing the subject.
I will
because
talk
in
about
one
that
of his
once I
arguments,
tell you what I'm about to tell you.
When Luis brought up the fact that I said you can move to another state for better internet, you said that was ridiculous.
And guess what?
Your parents did.
They succeeded.
Your parents moved to a whole other country.
They succeeded because this is a capitalist country. My parents worked 3 or 4 jobs at a time.
Okay, but that's not why.
But this is the reason why is because they wanted that $5 corn.
Okay,
that's why.
But
and they taught us work ethic because of that.
They didn't want the $5 corn. They wanted the opportunity that's available in this country uniquely versus where they were at versus Mexico. This country is uniquely.
Okay, but nobody's gonna move for internet in another state.
Tony,
they don't have to. You just have to do the calculus
somebody
for yourself.
once told me one thing.
It's not the world isn't simple. So you have to look at the internet.
No matter how much education and perspective you have,
quality, all that stuff.
We're veering off. Here's the thing: if you're gonna make an argument, you got to make an argument that is, I would say, reasonable, and realistic.
No, but see,
if you're going to the extreme about internet and move to another state, that's not realistic.
That is realistic. Your parents moved to a whole other country.
That's not the same thing.
Yes.
Nobody is moving to another country. See, this is what I'm talking about.
It's the same thing if you look at it this way. Wait, look at it this way.
No one's going to move for internet.
You're going to move for this. If I move here, will I have a better quality of life? Whatever that means. If the answer is yes, then I will move if I can, right? That's really
I don't know if I'll move for internet.
Okay, I'm not gonna move. Who's going to move for internet?
Then the internet isn't good enough to improve your quality of life. It's the same calculus irregardless. Now, let's say everything is equal in both these places, but the only difference
I don't think you could put life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness with internet. It just doesn't compare. Like if somebody moves from a country that restricts all your freedoms to a country that lets you do what you need to do, enables your freedom. That's not the same.
I know. That's what I said though. You have to look at total
and there was
quality
no
of life.
economic opportunity in Mexico.
Right. I know, and there's still. But what I would argue why there isn't any economic quality is
because there's no regulation.
No, the culture.
No, hold on. Whoa, Tony.
Corruption.
Let me tell you something.
Because
no regulation, no corruption, nobody collects taxes, no fucking roads.
That's the culture.
And guess what? Nobody in Mexico are making roads on their own.
Everybody. Why though?
Because it's not.
Mexico is a perfect example.
Well, there is.
There's internet. Only the middle class or upper class get it.
But here is my understanding of why Mexico doesn't. It's where it's at for the most part. It doesn't have a culture to the same quality as America. And by what I mean by that,
they're a republic just like us.
There's corruption.
No, what I mean by that is America has corruption, but it's one of the least corrupt countries in a statistical sense. In a statistical sense, culturally speaking, than any other countries.
The corruption here is worse. You know why?
Because we have more laws.
You know why corruption is worse here in the U.S. is because it's hidden. Yeah. So hard.
Okay, it might be.
That's why.
It might be. Okay, and I would have to look into what you mean by then, because if it's hidden, if I can't see it, then you're telling me to believe in something.
All right, look. Mexico has states. It's a republic just like ours. They have a constitution.
No, but
they have the constitution just like ours. Almost.
It's the culture. It's the culture.
Guess what?
Here's the key difference. America
does not.
Mexico doesn't value individual liberties.
That's why earlier I was asking you, because I wanted to know this for real. Give me an example of a government that's close to what you're saying. You gave me Hong Kong.
Yes.
And I know personally Hong Kong is not a government that promotes freedom, that promotes...
Look it up.
What does that mean, promote? What does it mean, promote?
Intellectual property rights.
What does it mean, promote? Because what I'm saying is all you have to do is these very simple things. Make sure
you have to be the top of the top to have a good quality of life in Hong Kong. You have to. If you go to Hong Kong, if you've ever visited there, I've never visited there, but people that have told me that have gone there, Oliver Wu, they'll tell you. There's 80%, 70% of the people are there are the working class. I mean, those are the poor of the poor. Their lives are okay. It's not horribly bad, but there's a lot of homelessness. There's a lot of people that don't have medical stuff. The top of the top are the ones that are living it.
See, this is what's hard about this conversation. Almost everything you're talking about, you have to start from the basis that you're not entitled to any of that.
Well, we know that.
We know that.
Okay,
we're not entitled to that here.
Okay. But we have it. Not even we. There were generations before us, and they did many hard things. Just like how risky it was to break away from the colonies to explore this land when it was just like wilderness and Indians and all this shit. There was a lot of blood that went into making this country where it is right now, including slave labor. I will give you that.
Native Americans.
A big part of the culture what makes America good, as from my understanding, is that we have a culture
do it
that is
yourself.
very individualistic, that we don't need government, that you just need to... Government, all it's there to do is these basic things so that you can stay out of... Just do that so we can all live civilized and then stay the hell out of our way so we can do whatever we want. Right? But Mexico doesn't have that culture. Other countries don't have that culture. America is the only country in the world that is as strongly individualistic as us. And there are downsides to that. And I'm not saying all these other countries have bad cultures. I'm just saying if we're only talking about economic quality of life, if we're talking about freedom, then on those two specific metrics, America overall, though not completely, there's countries in very specific, they might have a little bit better freedom of speech. They might have a little bit better freedom of whatever.
But you're just throwing another variable. Now first you're saying government needs to be scaled back.
Yes.
And then when I throw you the example of Mexico,
what do I mean by scale back? What do I mean by scale back?
I throw you the scaling back, like making it very basic, all the way to almost to zero. Got it. But whenever I give you an example,
you got it?
But when I give you an example of Mexico, where the regulations are like bare minimum, now it's the culture. You throw another variable in there.
Because the culture.
How do you know what the Mexican culture is?
I know. I can tell from their fruits.
I can tell you right now, they're greedy, just like anybody else.
Tree from the fruits it produces. So I'm judging it on that basis. And if you want to give me more information, I'll be open to it and I'll reform.
I'm just saying.
But I'm coming from where I'm at.
This one's saying,
like the American culture gave birth to the American government, correct? The American people, that's their culture, gave birth to the government. Every government is formed on the backs of the culture of the people below it.
Here's the thing. I'm going to go back. I'm going to circle back to what I said. People are naturally or innately evil.
No, I'll say people are naturally capable of both. Actually,
no. Hold on. I'm sorry. Every philosopher that has ever lived says we are evil. The Bible says we are evil.
No,
we're sinful.
The Bible says we're also made in the image of God.
No, but
it doesn't. It doesn't.
The image of. The image of.
Yes.
That doesn't mean we are like God. It says we're sinners.
Yes.
We are born sinners, meaning we have evil in us no matter what.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean we have only evil.
I'm going to tell you right now. I'm only good because my parents taught me to be good. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Okay.
And I'm only good because I'll get caught.
No, but
But let me tell you something.
I will say this.
Let me tell you something.
I will substitute the word evil with self-serving.
Whatever.
That's
okay.
more.
Well, that is where we're coming. Everybody wants to look out for number one.
Yeah. But see, the beauty of America is we harness that evil. The whole system is designed for people. You should be able to look out for yourself, and this system works because it functions with that. Everything is based on your self-interest. You do what's best for you.
You want to talk about culture? The culture of America is competition and having more money. And guess
it's
what?
It's part of it.
And no, hold on.
No, it's part of it.
Hold on.
It's all of it. So there's no Judeo-Christian value. There's no influence of Christ. There's no influence of Jews.
America. America is about number one, being number one, competition, number one, having the most money, having everything that you can, having a yacht, having the American dream, and all that shit.
That's part of it.
Okay?
That's part of it.
Let me tell you something.
That's part of it.
You want to talk about culture? You fucking take away regulations, and people will do anything to get more money.
I know I would.
No matter what.
And that's good.
So,
it's
good. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. So you're saying
social Darwin.
So you're saying no.
I'm a bank.
Wait, I don't want you to jump there because he said he understood.
I'm a bank. Wait, I'm a bank. Guess what? Everybody deposit. Hold on. Wait. Hold on.
You said you understood.
Let me finish.
Well, you said I understood.
Let's go back. I am a CEO of a bank. Okay. The FDIC doesn't exist anymore.
Okay.
I just wire transferred all the money from the bank to my offshore account. There's no regulations that stop me from doing this.
I'm going to go ahead and do that. Wait, how much money?
All of it.
$5 billion.
Who gives you $5 billion and you have?
That's how big my bank is.
No.
Customers.
No.
Customers.
Wait.
So there is no regulation that stops me, the CEO.
I want to ground this example in reality.
And guess what?
Who gives $5 billion to a CEO that can just do that
collectively?
Hey, there's no regulation that stops me from doing that.
No,
I can put it all in the
there
bank.
is something.
No.
Common sense. Here's common. Common sense doesn't exist without regulation.
So you're saying there's a regulation now that says I don't have control of all the money in the bank?
You're saying that I'm going to be stupid?
You said near zero. You said near zero.
Yes, I did.
Not an individual.
I did.
I'm talking about like a lot of people.
Why would these? Are all these?
Why wouldn't the shareholders stop them?
What amount of people has
The shareholders, they just hold them accountable. They don't have control of the money.
Stop them?
Yeah.
What board of directors?
Of the bank.
No,
What are we talking about? I just fired them because there's no regulations that cost me. I don't have to hold that charter of that bank liable because I'm not held accountable. All these people, I tricked them into putting their money into my bank,
guess what?
and I wired it away. That's what's going to happen.
Okay. Wait, hold on.
He's filing for
things here.
bankruptcy on
First of all, I don't think you understand that a CEO works for the bank. He is not the king of the bank.
It doesn't matter.
It really
there
does.
is no regulation that says
it really does.
Hey guys, I just
so
secretary,
here's what's gonna happen.
Wire all this money in the bank.
See, here's the problem with these examples. They always jump into some fantasy land. You have to start in reality.
Hey, you want to go extreme?
Okay, watch. I'm going to give you a real live 1996.
But can I address this example?
1996 example.
Okay.
He's going to give you
the president of Mexico, Carlos Salinas, last day of office, wire transferred literally over $30 million to New York from the Pemex, the petroleum.
From the
bank. It was like
the Bank of Mexico. Stole millions of dollars from the Mexican people on his final day.
And the months before that, they called it the Black Monday. The Mexico Stock Exchange, it collapsed. They were going through some interest rates. That's where the peso really lost its value. Yeah. And it's never recovered since. And after that, once his term was over, he transferred millions of dollars to New York.
Last day. And guess what? He didn't go to prison.
He's not allowed to go back to Mexico. He lives in Paris or he lives in New York. I don't know where
New York. New York.
So he's a criminal. So I'm going to say
he's not a criminal.
He's not a criminal.
There's no regulation
that said
that he couldn't do it.
And by the way, he was not the only modern day president in Mexico to have done that. The one before that did that too.
Wait, so he's not a criminal, but he's not allowed in Mexico?
No, because there was no regulation.
Dude,
but wait, why is he not allowed in Mexico?
Because it's an ethical.
Because after he did it.
So what you're saying is even though he didn't break the law, he's still being held accountable in Mexico in that they will murk him.
If you stole my money, I'll beat you up.
Yeah, beat you up.
If I see you next time.
Okay, well I would say Mexico then has a pretty crappy culture. Real quick, if they never thought to make, because if they if they never thought to make a law of don't steal, because we at least got that down.
Wait, hold on, he didn't steal.
Wait, how did? So it was his money?
Yeah.
No. Okay. Well,
wait, yes or no?
Yeah, it was the money,
or is it Mexico?
Money? It's okay.
Whose money was it?
Okay, so he had control of the money.
Why did the people give him control of the money?
Okay, I don't know the details.
So you have to go back a little bit because there's a lot of tensions here.
Look into that. We can discuss that.
Yeah,
but
and I'll
he
definitely
took that money. He killed people too.
Yeah, but see, this is what I'm saying.
He killed people too.
I'm not saying any of that is okay.
But he's not like no one's looking for Interpol. Nobody's looking for him. Mexican authorities.
Well, I don't know how international laws work. But
he's not a criminal. He's free. He lives free.
Well, I would say
he does speeches in the New York.
So here's one aspect of the Mexican culture. They never thought to make a law for it to be illegal to steal money. Unless, you're describing a situation I don't understand. You can't tell me whose money it is. You can't tell me how it was stolen.
It was the Bank of Mexico's money.
Was he authorized? Did he have the powers to move money?
Apparently he did. There was no regulation to say that he didn't.
Okay.
And not only that, it might have been a combination of the Pemex, which is a petroleum Mexico.
So he was basically a king.
Bank.
Because kings back in the day, they just held the people's money and they chose to do what to do with it.
Let's just put a link and find out what happened with that situation.
Okay, I'll find out. But if we can go to Juan's example, real quick to Juan's example, his scenario is just
near zero.
Yeah. But okay, what you're talking about there with the CEO thing, first of all, that's stealing if it is those people's money. So one of the things the government does is protect your life, your liberty, and your property. Stealing is property. So there would be a legal case there. But let me back up even further.
But if there's no regulation there, is it really stealing though?
What do you mean? First of all, it's my money.
Did I force you to put your money into my bank?
No. What's the deal we made?
Did you give me your money and trusted me with it? So guess what?
Wait, See, again, you're jumping a little too far into crazy.
You gave us the same example.
No, you're jumping. Wait, you're jumping.
Here, put your name right here. And I'm gonna open up an account, and you deposit your money.
Wait. Why am I putting my name right there?
Because you're.
Is this contract? Is this the contract?
No, it's just a file, so we can make an account for you. There you go. There's no.
So what does this file do?
What? I need your information so that I can create an account. So that way, when you come here and deposit your money, and you want to take your money out, we can take it out. I'll know who you are.
Okay, well, I need to see your Yelp reviews first. I need about 3 to 5 references.
Awesome.
I also want to know how long you've been in business.
First of all, you came to us. We need references for you.
Yeah. Hey, if we can't,
we have a lot of customers.
If we can't make a deal, we can't make a deal. Yeah. If we can't make a deal, we can't make a deal.
That's cool. Guess what? There's like 100,000 more people.
That's okay. And when you run off with their $5 billion, I'm be like, hey. That's a good thing I didn't make that deal, right?
Yeah, well,
right? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, but see, here's what y'all are missing. You think people are
You
freaking
act like you read
retarded.
the terms and conditions to everything.
No,
you
but
do,
see, here's the thing.
You know you don't.
No, but look, no, I don't
Your
because
Gmail
no,
account,
because in our
Yahoo,
society we do have a
Google.
general expectation of certain things that the government does,
Yeah.
and it offloads.
You just proved my point.
Wait.
You just proved my point, man.
Wait.
This conversation is
No,
done.
no.
The government is there to help us.
No,
And
hold
that's
on.
What I'm
No,
saying.
Is
I
that
did-
a police?
Hey,
Absolutely.
property.
Absolutely.
Hey, property is
you
yours
prove my point.
as
No,
long as it's in
No,
your
bro, because
possession.
You cut
The
me off.
moment you give
cut
me
off.
that
You
bill,
cut me off.
you give it
No,
to somebody else.
because but what happened with Cambridge Analytica?
What about it?
It happened to be a situation where people didn't read the terms of services,
Yeah.
like you said, and we had expectations because we felt the government would
And
keep
by
us
the
safe,
way,
and we
Facebook
were
did
wrong.
not break
And
any
I know,
rules.
and we were
They
wrong.
did not break any rules.
And we were wrong.
They're under
Yeah.
FCC,
But look,
FCC
here's what I'm saying.
investigation, but because
There was no actual law.
There was
Yeah.
no law
Okay.
against it. But hold on. With that being said, we expected the government to protect us, right?
Yeah, and that created a false sense of
They
security.
didn't.
The key word is
because there was
false.
No rules over that.
No.
What you're suggesting is that in the future,
No, you want them to
government-
create those rules. No,
less
here,
government
no,
is
right here,
better,
real quick.
but in
I'll
this
say
case,
this.
is not.
No, right here, what you're saying is you would want the government to make those rules so your false sense of security becomes a real sense of security.
Yes,
So you want
absolutely.
to add more rules
Yes.
to make your false sense of
Yes.
security true.
Yes, because technology
but
improves
see,
every
here's what I
day.
want. Here's what I want.
The
I
times
want
change.
people to lose that false sense of security.
No.
Why?
I don't want. I want to have security.
No, I
don't
said
even
no.
want-
I
don't
didn't
even
say.
want
I
sense of
didn't say security.
I want security.
I didn't say
False
security.
sense.
Who cares?
False.
Who cares?
The emphasis
What
I
is
don't
sense
false.
care about sense. I don't care. I want
want
security.
Okay. Well,
That's
you know
what I
what Benjamin
want.
Franklin said? A people that will give up their freedom for security deserves neither and will get neither.
That's not true.
That is 100% true.
He may have said that, but that's not true.
It is true.
It's not true.
Yes,
Why? Give me an example
because
of how
historically,
that
you know
happened.
why all countries, all formations of people had a king, a leader, a tribesman? Because people in the face of anarchy will choose authoritarian dictatorship to feel safe. Freedom is so scary because that's anarchy, total freedom. It's so scary they would rather be under the boot of someone
believe
that makes
in
them
my
feel safe.
republic because I believe in the judicial branch, executive branch, and the
I
legislature.
don't. Donald
That's
Trump is
why.
president. The freaking Supreme
Not till
Court
in November. He'll be out, so that doesn't matter. Don't bring
Maybe.
Donald Trump. Donald Trump is not. Don't bring him up. Okay.
Okay.
Look,
So you
want
have faith,
credibility,
but you
don't
know
bring
what?
up Trump.
Well, look, the faith you have in our institutions is built on part of the culture that's been built here.
Listen.
But the culture is rotting, so
Listen
it
to
will
me.
affect the government over time.